Hello, welcome to today's video. This is a supplement to page number 86 here from the book. So if we recall, we're learning about the dominant seventh chord. And if we take a look here, the first part, we want to understand that dominant seventh chords are stacked in thirds, and there are 4 notes in a dominant seventh chord. The second part is we remove the fifth, which is not essential, and then we put that chord in first inversion, which becomes a 6/5 chord, and those are the figured bass little numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to be playing 1, 5, 6, 5, 1. And we're going to do that for both hands. This is going to be added as a rhythm to your chromatic chord exercise. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. C to G, and then C sharp. Okay. C sharp to G sharp, and then D to A, 7, 6, 5, back to D. E flat to B flat 6, 5, back to E flat. And then we have E to B 6, 5, E. F to C 6, 5, back to F. Moving on to F sharp, and then that's C sharp 6, 5, back to F sharp. Next one is G. G to D 6, 5, G. A flat to E flat 6, 5, back to A flat. And then we have A to E 6, 5, back to A. And then next we have A sharp. Okay, now A sharp, or also known as B flat. And this one here goes to F 6, 5, or it's going to be F sharp. Let me see, A sharp, and that's going to be F sharp 6, 5, and back to the B flat or the A sharp. Excuse me, I meant not F sharp, but E sharp is for the A sharp. Okay, and then we have B, and then from B we go to F sharp 6, 5. Now remember, F sharp 6, 5 is going to be F, A sharp, that note right there, that note right there, E, F sharp, and then back to B. Okay, and then of course back to C major. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about why these spellings exist, and then we're going to go ahead and review those again. So let's go ahead to the screen share here. Okay, so we have our little scale or our little staff here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a treble clef so you can see this. This is going to be for treble clef. There it is. And when we draw our notes, first of all, we're going to draw the tonic chord. So tonic chord consists of C major. Now the reason why we're only doing this as 3 notes instead of 4 notes for the 7th chord. We know that 7th chords have 4 notes, but in voice leading or comping or accompaniment for the piano, a pianist wants to move as little as possible. So we see that we have C major triad here. Now, instead of having to come up all the way to a G major chord, let me go ahead and draw the dominant of C major is going to be G major 7. Let me see if I can spell these out a little bit even. Now you would have to come all the way up here, and if you can see on the little screen, so here's C major, and then you'd have to jump all the way up here to play G7. That's a lot of movement just to go from one chord to another. So instead of doing that, how about we take these notes, and well, why don't we place them in an abbreviated fashion? So I'm going to go ahead and place F right here, and then I'm going to take B down, and I need to put a little ledger line there to show that it's B. Okay, my B. And then of course this this B, sorry, that was B, I meant. But D, where I usually had it up here, we're going to take that out of the way. And we're going to say, no, we don't really need that one because it's not essential. Okay, so we're taking D away. And then we have left over B. Let's line these up a little bit better. So we have B, F, and G. G is, of course, the tonic or the root of G major. B is the third of G major, so that indicates quality. And then F is the seventh. And when we write our little when we write our chord symbol, we're going to write it like this: G 7 / B. And the reason why it's /B, with B being on the right side of the slash, is because B is the base of the chord. And then of course G7 refers to G major, and then the 7 refers to that interval from G right there, which was brought down by an octave, Okay? So that's the reason why we draw our chord symbol this way. Let's go ahead and get rid of all this now. And let's talk now about the figured bass. So in classical style, or in classical analysis, the way to write this chord would be a Roman numeral 5, and if it were stacked in thirds, it would be a 7. But because it's not stacked in thirds, and we have it abbreviated and inverted, this is actually first inversion. We're going to go ahead and talk about the figured bass numbers of 6 and 5. Now let's talk about why 6 and 5 exist. Okay, so the distance between this B and this G is the interval of a sixth. And so that's what this refers to, the 6 up there. And then of course the 5 is the distance between B and F, and that's why the 5 is there. So when we read figured bass, we always read from either the chord that it's based on. So example is 6/5. From the bass we have we have an interval of 6, and then of course to 5 we have that interval there. And so that's the reason why it's 6/5. Another way to draw this figured bass is to just go ahead and put G 6/5, and then you would know that G major or G7 is in first inversion. And we don't have the fifth interval, the D, because, well, it's abbreviated. It's easier to play C to G7 this way because we have two common tones right here, or a common tone, G to G, and all we have to do is move E up to F, and then C down to B, and then of course we can bring it right back. Now that's the theory behind the 1, 5, well 5/7 at least, 1, or excuse me, should I say 6/5 instead, 1, 5, 6, 5, 1 progression. And so when we play these progressions, we want to understand that this is very simple voice leading, having the common tone G being there, and then still there, we just move a couple of fingers over, and then we go back. So instead of jumping from here to here, we just move a little bit and play like that again. Let's go ahead and review these one more time. Here we go. C, G6/5, C, half step up, C sharp, G sharp 6/5, C sharp, D, A6/5, D, E flat, B flat 6/5, E flat, 5, E, F, C6-5, F, F sharp, C sharp 6-5, F sharp, G, D6-5, G, G sharp or A flat. Let's talk about A flat. A flat 6-5, or is A flat? And then we have E flat 6-5, A flat, A 6-5, A, B flat, F 6-5, F, B, F sharp 6-5, B, and then of course back to C. And of course, when you play this exercise, you're going to play it this way going up, and then when you go back down, you're going to refer to the flat. So if sharp's going this way, flat's going back the other way. Be able to play that both ways, and then of course, if you want to mix some of the rhythms, you can go ahead and play an octave, and then you can just play one note right there with the left hand going back to tonic. So it's going to be tonic, dominant, tonic. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice that exercise every day, and we will see you next lesson.